There is a reason why they say Cedar Point is a place like no other. And when you visit one of the largest parks in the world, there's a great chance that you'll feel overwhelmed about making sure that you see and do all the best Cedar Point attractions. This is why I wanted to share with you Cedar Point's top 10 must-see attractions. Starting off with number 10, the Cedar Point Coliseum. Opening in 1870, Cedar Point is America's second oldest theme park. And in 1906, the park opened one of its most iconic structures ever, the Cedar Point Coliseum. And over the years, there has been a bunch of different attractions to call the Coliseum home, and currently, the whole lower level is a giant arcade and a mini golf area. So when you visit Cedar Point, I highly recommend checking out the Coliseum, walking through the building, and taking in the beautiful architecture. Number 9. The Red Garter Saloon. This saloon is located right along the Frontier Trail, and it offers a fun, good old time that's home to some great cold beverages and live entertainment. And whether you drink alcohol or not, the Red Garter Saloon is always a must-see due to its uniqueness. Number 8. The Cedar Point Grand Pavilion. Opening in 2023, this beautiful two-story building overlooks the Cedar Point beach and is home to a few notable must-sees when you visit the park. On the lower level, you can experience one of the best restaurants that you're going to find at Cedar Point. The food is really tasty and the service is always quick. TPR tip. I recommend taking your food upstairs and sitting out on one of the 3 patios so you can take in the views from the top. The main patio area gives you a direct shot of the Cedar Point Beach and Lake Erie off in the distance. Then, on the second floor, you'll find the best bar at Cedar Point in my opinion. This bar offers any type of drink you can imagine and offers amazing views of Lake Erie. TPR tip. One great thing about the Cedar Point Pavilion is you'll find some of the cleanest restrooms in the park located inside of it. And it's also a great way to catch up on some AC. Number 7, exploring Frontier Trail. Even with Cedar Point's 310-foot tall Giga Coaster looming above it, Cedar Point's Frontier Trail is the quietest and most beautiful area in the park. As you walk through Frontier Trail, be on the lookout for the glass blowing studio where you get to watch craftsmen demonstrate the skill of molten glass blowing and creating unique items out of glass. For the kids, they will love the gem mining and exploring Fort Sandusky. And for a small upcharge, they will also love the pony rides that you're going to find in the area. And speaking of animals, did you know that Cedar Point offers the Barnyard, which is an excellent petting zoo? The animals inside the barnyard are super friendly and you can get up close to them and pose for a great picture. I also recommend taking some time and exploring the rustic shops along Frontier Trail. TPR tip. You have to take a step inside of the Trail Tavern. This is a great way to grab an ice cold beverage and just relax, and this building and structure really is awesome and you do not want to miss out on at least walking through this building. Number 6. Cedar Downs Racing Derby. Opening at Cedar Point in 1967, this unique carousel attraction is a must-ride for anyone visiting Cedar Point. This derby racing carousel is not like your average carousel. You and 63 other riders will be racing each other as you travel around and around for a fun ride that you will not soon forget. Number 5 is the Cedar Point Giant Wheel. Standing at an impressive height of 145 feet, you will have amazing views of Lake Erie and the Cedar Point Beach to go along with the rest of the park. The Giant Wheel is a great way to catch a nice breeze and get a bird's eye view of America's rock and roller coast. Cedar Point is a massive park, and one way to get from one side of the park to the other is taking a ride on number 4, the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. All aboard! Take a ride on this authentic coal-fired steam locomotive as you travel from the Millennium Midway to Frontier Town. This 2-mile adventure offers 2 stations along with amazing views of Lake Erie if you're sitting on the left-hand side of the train. Also, you have the best views of Boneville. Now sadly, I cannot say too much about Boneville because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it's a great little town that the train travels through once you leave the Frontier Town station. TPR tip. If you want the best views of Millennium Force and Maverick, then be sure to sit on the right hand side of the train. There is a reason why Cedar Point and the Lake Erie Railroad is a family favorite and has been for decades and decades. While you will find so many awesome, not to be missed attractions that are included with your Cedar Point admission, the park does offer some great add-on experiences that you should at least consider. So here are my Cedar Point add-on recommendations. The Sunrise VIP Tour. If you or anyone else you know loves roller coasters, then this tour is for you because it's so awesome and I highly recommend it. You get a ride up the elevator to the top of Valraven's 223-foot tall lift hill, and you're doing this before the park opens, so you get to soak in some of the best views that you'll ever get of Cedar Point. Located right next to Cedar Point is their water park, Cedar Point Shores, and here you're going to find a ton of different water slides to enjoy, a wave pool, 2 lazy rivers, and a ton of great slides and kid activities. Cedar Point Shores is a very nice and clean water park. Now, most of you do not know about this next Cedar Point thrill ride, but did you know that you can go parasailing out on Lake Erie? Now just imagine parasailing and looking out and seeing the world's best collection of roller coasters. The Jet Express Lake Erie Excursions. I recommend taking a day and heading over to the Cedar Point Marina so you can explore everything that Kelly's Island and Put-in-Bay offers on the Jet Express. Not to mention, we also get some amazing views of Cedar Point from the water. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then all I ask that you do is please give it a like. That is by far the best way that you can help support my channel, Theme Park Recommendations. Also, if you're looking for some great new coaster gear, check out keepridingcoasters.com for affordable and comfortable coaster merch. Now it's time to get back into the Cedar Point must-dos. Number 3 is the Sky Ride. Cedar Point's iconic gondola ride has been entertaining riders since 1961. You will hop inside your gondola and take a half-mile trip 92 feet above the Cedar Point Midway. This is a great way to take in Cedar Point's beauty. TPR tip. Since the Sky Ride is one of the closest attractions to the main entrance of Cedar Point, it usually has a long line first thing in the morning, so I recommend riding it later in the day. Number 2, the Cedar Point Beach. You can access the beach from the parking lot, the Windseeker Gate, or the Magnum Gate. And the best part of all, this beach is clean and it's free. And even if you do not plan on going swimming, which I do recommend swimming because the water feels great in the summer, walking the Cedar Point Beach and the boardwalk is a great way to relax and check out the Cedar Point skyline that we all love from the sand. During the summer, so many fun things are happening at the beach. From live music to fireworks to building sandcastles, the Cedar Point Beach is an attraction that I cannot recommend enough. TPR tip. While walking up and down the Cedar Point Beach and boardwalk, take a moment and check out Hotel Breakers. I recommend at least walking through the main rotunda and the lobby. Seeing these firsthand is something that everyone should be doing when they visit Cedar Point. And now it's time for the number 1 thing that I recommend doing when you visit Cedar Point, and that is obviously the roller coasters. And you cannot think about Cedar Point and not think about their awesome collection of world-class roller coasters. And while Cedar Point isn't home to the most coasters in the world, the park is known for having the best overall collection. With classic coasters like Gemini, Iron Dragon, Blue Streak, and Magnum XL200, from the top 10 worthy coasters like Top Thrill 2, Millennium Force, Steel Vengeance, and Maverick. Cedar Point is the roller coaster mecca. And no matter what your thrill level is, you'll find a coaster that fits your needs. Cedar Point's coaster collection is hands down the best in the world. And after my 4 rides on Top Thrill 2 on its opening day, in the video at the bottom of your screen, I share with you how I rank the coasters that you're going to find at Cedar Point from worst to best. So what are you looking forward to most when you visit Cedar Point? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.